morning, everyone. My name is Robbie Thomas, and I will be the host of this morning's webinar of a new year with new gear. Before I get started, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who's attending. I realize that 45 minutes out of your day is actually a lot of time for most integrators as they're trying to get prepared for their day going out and making sales calls. So I appreciate everyone taking a few minutes with me this morning. All right, let's begin. The SE Dealer Program welcomes you to a brand new year. We understand that your business continues to evolve and grow at a rapid pace, just like the surveillance technology and consumer demands are. We want to make sure that the SE Dealer Program is your most trusted partners for 2016. Nobody works harder to grow your business, and we have set some aggressive goals for the new year. We are positive that this new year is full of new possibilities and great potentials for your business. Starting with the launch of our new IP and HD-TVI technology. Before I get too far into it, let me kind of cover the 2015 industry overview. Overall, 2015 was an interesting year for security industry. We've seen some exciting advancements in surveillance technology. The transition to IP cameras continues, but with economic ups and downs. We also saw customers hanging on to their existing systems a little longer than expected. The SE Dealer Program will continue to provide support to you and your customers and helping them migrate at their own pace. From a product and price perspective, the influx of low-cost cameras certainly impacted the overall marketplace. In 2015, we launched a real-time pricing program whereby every day we shop our competitors to ensure that our prices on like products are lower. If we find a comparable product at a lower price, we will lower our price to deliver you a better value. We update our price list constantly. You can always access your price list if you log into our secured dealer portal and click on My Price List. So I just covered the 2015 industry overview, and I wanted to kind of roll into what we're looking forward to in the 2016 tech trends that's already becoming apparent. IP-based camera systems looking ahead in 2016, the changeover from analog systems to IP systems is accelerating. It's creating a high demand for this technology. Some of the emerging trends in video surveillance feature the same IP camera technologies popularized in consumer electronics and broadcast video. These technologies include high dynamic range imaging, higher video compression schemes that not only offer higher resolution images, but also reduce storage requirements. As IP-based camera systems technologies continue to evolve, they're becoming an integral part of the business network infrastructure. We're seeing more robotic functions, smart auto tracking, smart auto focus, so there's little to no distortion when you're looking at cameras. We're also seeing cameras come out with higher frame rates that reduce blur of fast-moving objects, and we're seeing that we have more data options that allow you to put in higher quality images. So I just covered a 2015 overview and then a 2016 tech trend from a higher level, kind of looking at what's coming forward to everybody. One of the things that I like to roll into next is when we're talking about Alibi keeps up with your customer demands and with the latest and greatest IP and HD technology for 2016. We really have everything that you would ever need to upgrade all of your customers to the best possible solutions. When we start talking about IP cameras within Alibi, originally Alibi had 1.3 and 3 megapixel offerings, and that was kind of it. This year you're seeing us launch, we're removing the 1.3 altogether, and we are replacing that with the 2.1 megapixel. We're adding better 3 megapixel cameras. We're bringing on a brand new 4 megapixel line, and we're bringing on a higher end enterprise level 6 megapixel camera line. All of our varifocal cameras are motorized, so as you're talking about IP cameras and you're selling your customers the benefits of the varifocal, it's not just you zooming in and focusing and getting the exact shot that you want, but it's more about flexibility and the ease of use. And from a installer standpoint, the motorized lenses reduce your time on the ladder. And we're bringing the motorized lenses at the same price that a lot of other people are bringing just the manual varifocal lenses out to the market. We're also bringing out an H.264 OVC compression. This reduces storage requirements by about 50% and it allows us to increase your resolution without increasing bandwidth. So I just mentioned that we removed the 1.3 megapixel line within our Alibi IP and we replaced it with the 2.1 megapixel. Something that we're really passionate about here at SC is always having a full and robust line. So as we start talking about the 2 megapixel line, you know, I want you to realize that within the 2 megapixel line, we have 5 different form factors. Basically, we have 3 domes and 2 bullets. Within those 3 domes, we have a fixed dome 4mm lens. We have a turret dome with the X-View IR, and then we have a motorized varifocal dome. And then when you roll into the bullet line, we have a fixed entry-level bullet with the 4mm lens, and then we have a motorized varifocal that has the longer IR throw of like 100 feet. So when we start talking about entry-level IP cameras that are really driven for price to spec, our 2 megapixel line is really second to none, and it really allows our dealers to get out with a commercial grade product at a really great entry-level price. So I just covered all the different form factors of our 2 megapixel line, and I would like to end on what does the video actually look like within our 2 megapixel line. Side note, if you want to use any videos that we've produced, we put them on our SC Technology site. They do not have any SKUs or anything that would track back to giving you a price, and they are meant to deliver an understanding of the capabilities of the product. So if you go right now to our video, you'll see I'm looking at just the 2 megapixel fixed bullet. It's got 65 foot of IR, and I'm going to show you a daytime shot down in Austin at the Graffiti Park. So as you can see, here's the video of the 2 megapixel camera. You can see a couple of kids walking through. You can see how detailed all the graffiti is. You can see when we stop at 10 feet versus 16 feet. This is the expectation level that you're going to deliver when you're selling the 2.1 Alibi IP megapixel line on any of the fixed units. So as we move from the 2 megapixel into the 3 megapixel, most of you know that we have always sold 3 megapixel cameras. What I'd like you to take away from this webinar is the 3 megapixels that you were buying, we've discontinued, and we've moved to a newer imager that is just a lot more powerful. So we brought on basically the idea of having 2 enterprise level lower res cameras to fulfill some of your bigger jobs. One thing that I'd like to talk about here is, so within this 3 megapixel line, both of them are motorized lenses, but the motorized lens is actually a better motorized lens than in our 2 and 4 line. So in the 2 and 4 line, you have a motorized lens, but you have to literally zoom and then focus. There's 2 different buttons that you're doing to accomplish the zoom and focus. Whereas in the 3 and 6 megapixel lines, it has an autofocus feature built into the imager. So as you zoom in, it autofocuses in on the camera or on the item that you're looking at. When you look at our 2 lines, the big thing I'd like you to take away from this is, you know, the 3 megapixel resolution records at 45 frames versus the 2 and 4 generally will do 20 frames at the highest resolution. The varifocals are 2 to 12, which is pretty standard. And then the IR throws are 100 foot for the dome and 165 foot for the bullet. So if you just look at the spec alone, you can tell that it's a better spec than what you're used to seeing in a 3 megapixel line. And I'd like you to know that if we were to do a kind of a Pepsi challenge of the old 3 megapixels versus the new one really just hands down throttles it on cleanness of image at night, cleanness of image during the day. So when we're talking about the 3 megapixel, I would like to roll into a video of the bullet. As you can see in this video, this bullet is a 165-foot varifocal unit, but you can see the clarity of the image. You can see when he stops and it zooms in, you can see how well this performs. So from the Alibi IP standpoint, I look at this as you have a 2 and 4 megapixel line, and then you also have a 3 and 6 enterprise megapixel line. So as we're talking about the 4 megapixel line, one of the things that I want you to realize is we have 6 different form factors. We've got 4 domes and 2 bullets. Now within the domes, you have your standard fixed 4 millimeter with like 60 foot of IR or 50 foot of IR. And then you have a turret dome, which is actually a wide angle turret. It gives you right at like 120 degree field of view, but moreover it has 100 foot of IR. So I kind of see that as probably the one you want to start with or lead in with in most cases. And then we also have a wide angle wedge camera that has a little bit less IR, but it also brings in audio. And then with the final dome is the varifocal motorized dome in a standard form factor that everybody's used to seeing. When you look at the bullets, just like in the 2 megapixel line, you have a fixed bullet and a varifocal bullet. The exact same housings kind of tend to be in both 2 and 4, and you can see that the bullet is motorized. So within the 4 megapixel line, you'll see that I'm starting out with the same kind of fixed 4 millimeter bullet, 65 foot of IR range. We're recording down in the same part that we were recording the 2 megapixel line. You can see it's almost the exact same shot and angle. And you can see we have one person walking this time. We stop and you can see what it looks like at 15 feet away. And we also put a chart up for education of, are you wanting recognizable detail or general activity. We also have a second video of what the wide-angle camera domes look like. Here's the wedge that I was talking about. This is one of our more popular selling cameras. It's got 30 foot of IR, and you can see in this video coming up, we're outside of a school. You can see the wide-angle shot. You can easily read the sign right in front of you. You can see the lady getting out and walking towards the camera. You can see what it looks like at 10 feet away. You can see that you're going to get general activity at 51 feet, recognizable detail at 25 feet. As we move out of the 4 megapixel, we move up into the 6 megapixel enterprise line. As you can see, it's the same exact form factors as the 3 megapixel line, except for it's with the higher imager. Again, the 6 megapixel line, just like the 3, has the autofocus motorized lenses. It also uses the same H.264 OVC technology that allows you to get even more compression, which reduces your storage and bandwidth requirements, even though we're moving up into a higher megapixel count. So I always like to kind of call that out because people get worried about storage. If you look right here, we have a video of one of the cameras. You can see the video, you can see the clarity of the unit, you can see the clarity of the image, and then you can see when we stop and zoom in how much clearer it is. One of the things that I always like to talk about, and it's not in this video, but the 3 and 6 megapixels really dominate at night. So if you're really wanting to get some nighttime images and there's a really highly sensitive area, you're going to want to push the 3 and 6 megapixels because they handle noise and low light a lot better. 2 more cameras that we just added with Alibi are the PTZs. Both of these PTZs are 1080p. We have one that is an introductory PTZ. It's a 20x optical zoom and a 16x digital zoom. Sorry about that. It has IR illumination up to about 492 feet. I generally round up and just tell people 500 feet. It is ONVIF Profile S compliant. It has a 3-year warranty with it as well, and it is priced to move for the dealer. We also have a little bit more enterprise level one. It is also 1080p. It has 656 feet of IR. It also has smart auto tracking. It is ONVIF compliant, Profile S. Both of these cameras have strong performance in ultra low light, and they do a great job in tracking units or tracking individuals or whatever the biggest moving object is. The next thing that I want to cover that is a pretty big change in Alibi is our Alibi IP NVRs and our TVR. So if you look at our NVRs and TVRs, what you'll notice right off the bat is we've redesigned these units. These units now have a buttonless front face. All of them but the 4-channel is rack mountable. They come with ear tabs to rack up. If you look at these, as you look at them, what you'll notice is you'll see a 1U and a 2U style units. But moreover, what you'll see is these units were designed to be racked up in an IT closet. As I start talking to dealers and we were using the original NVRs, several of the dealers said, you know, these NVRs are great. You know, they have a super low failure rate. They're easy to set up, but they just have a consumerish look with the jog shuttle knob and the buttons on the front. And, you know, a lot of dealers expressed that it limited them in their ability to sell them in more enterprise-level jobs. So we took that information and we went back and had our engineers redesign them. So with that, these are meant to be rack-mounted. You can rack-mount things. Generally, as you rack-mount NVRs and equipment, that allows you to actually charge more money for it because most people expect to pay more for IT closet-styled equipment. The TVR, which is a brand new addition, is really an addition to our HVR line. So it does 32 channels of HD-TVI plus 8 more Alibi IP cameras. So when we talk about the TVR and you say it's a 40 camera count, just note that it is 32 HD-TVI and 8 IP. It will also do, if you don't want to do any analog, you could do 32 IP cameras, just like you would do the 32 NVR. So we just moved through the NVRs, and I ended talking about the HD-TVI TVR. I do want to call out one of the newest additions within our HD-TVI line. It's a wide-angle bullet. As everybody remembers, if you've bought with SC for a long time, we used to have a standard analog bullet, and it was discontinued. And then we had dealer after dealer saying, man, I really need an analog, HD analog, wide-angle bullet. We took that to heart, so we went out and engineered one. We're bringing it out to you. You can see it's got, I want to say, like a 130 or 140 degree field of view. It's also got smart IR built into it for like 65 feet. The last thing that I want to end on, or one of the last things that I want to end on, is our Alibi CMS software. We've actually made some upgrades to the software to make it more intuitive for our customers to use and easier to set up for the dealer. If you need a live demo of the Alibi CMS and you want to learn how to use it, please contact your account manager to see the new features about it. The new firmware with all of the new NVR and TVRs we just launched. All right, and we're going to end on the CMS with a video from one of our dealers. She's explaining about what I was just kind of talking about. I wanted to kind of include that so you could see what dealers themselves are thinking about it. I find value in not only showing you video of our product, but also letting you hear and see what other dealers like yourself are thinking about our products.
I am Alibi up and down. That's what we do. That's what I know. He's called me to where it's, you know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, click on this, click on that. Right. And it is so user-friendly. We have a lot of clients that aren't necessarily up to date with technology. They don't know how to use their smartphones. You know, they don't text, anything like that. And they don't have a problem working the Alibi systems. They are very user-friendly, very easy to navigate, and that's been one of our biggest selling points is you don't have to know technology to know your system and to be able to have your home or your business secure.
As I end our webinar today, I would like to say thank you for everyone who's attending. Again, my name's Robbie Thomas. Here's my information if you want to call me or send me an email about anything that we've covered today. Also, as we end today, I would like to let y'all know that in January, our dealer special, or the stuff on top of our normal discounts that are lower than everybody else's, is us ending with the dealer dozen. If you buy 10 of any Alibi cameras, you'll get 2 more free this month. I know a lot of my dealers stock at the first of the year trying to get ahead of all their jobs that they kind of pushed from the end of right around Christmas time. This is a great opportunity for you to take advantage of some easy pickups on great product. If you have any questions, again, my name's Robbie Thomas, and thank you all so very much.